What's New 802? I'm Becca Hammond, and you're listening to Vermont Talks. Vermont Talks may include graphic or explicit content. Listener discretion is advised. Vallory Falls, welcome to the show.
Yay.
Yay. It is June 21st. It's a Wednesday. It's beautiful outside.
Happy solstice.
Happy solstice.
Oh,
it is the
that
first
tonight.
day of summer. Yes. Yes, it is. Summer. Welcome, guys. So we've got with us today Tristan.
Hi.
Gillis. Got your name right?
Yes.
Okay. And then we've got Dan LaCours.
That's correct, yeah.
Cool. I got it right. Joey Franco.
That's me.
And Riley Burridge.
You got it.
All right. Cool. Would you all like to go around and tell me what you actually do? Say your name again, just so people can kind of associate your voice with who's talking.
My name is Tristan. I sing and I play guitar.
I'm Danny, but everyone calls me Dan. I play bass and sing a little bit.
I'm Joey, and I play guitar.
I'm Riley. I play drums and sometimes I scream.
Very fitting. Yeah. But you know how this goes, where we're just kind of randomly talking about how you guys created a band, how long you've been playing. If you had to describe your music to someone who could not listen to your music, what would you say? Those kind of questions. Who's the front man? It's Tristan, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, to somebody who hasn't listened to us, I would say we're sort of like all emo, but like for the new generation, for like new wave. I don't know.
New wave.
It's like pop punk. I mean, it's pop punk.
Yeah, it feels okay. All right. I was gonna say it doesn't feel very whiny, and I associate a lot of emo music with being super whiny.
I mean, it could be second wave emo.
Second wave.
It's a second wave. I feel like emo
it's
had
third wave.
The whining is
Third
behind the scenes. Yeah, it's not.
Well, totally in the third wave, like third wave ska. So.
Right. Because when was the first?
I only whine when I write the songs, and then
I was gonna say they don't come off that whiny from what I've listened to. It's really not the most whiny sounding band. I would not want you guys to just mispromote yourselves. So tell me, okay, when did the band officially start? Because I've had conversations with Tristan about this, and I've been confused about the official start date of this band.
Yeah. Well, so the current lineup, the current incarnation of this band, really started with Riley and I, which was, I want to say, trying to think, November of 2021?
September of 2021.
September of 2021.
That was our very first show together.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I used to live in Massachusetts, and so when I was in Massachusetts, like, the band started with a different lineup, and those two have since, their names are Matt and Kat, and they have since moved on to a different band called Indoor Friends.
But it was Vallory Falls.
But
so
it was Vallory Falls.
Relocated.
Yeah. So we, but I think with that lineup, we did like 3 shows, and we just went through like so many like bass players. Like we never got like a solid lineup. It was really the 3 solid members were just me, Matt, and Kat, and that was from like the beginning of, I want to say 2021. So for maybe like 6 months or so, and then I moved to Vermont. And then from the time I moved to Vermont is when Riley and I got together. And then ever since then, it's just kind of been establishing the current lineup, which is in Vermont.
Nice. Riley, have you always played drums, or did you switch instruments at one point?
I started the band playing bass, but I started drums as my main instrument. That was like, I've been playing drums the longest, but I switched to bass in the middle of college, just because there was more money to be made in bass, and more bands were looking for bassists. So.
Everyone needs a bassist. I'm a bassist too. I know how that goes. They're like, oh, there's 6 bands who want a bassist.
Yeah, actually, when I met Riley, they were fronting. They were like the bass player for this cover band at this festival Yeah, and that was in South Burlington, right?
Yeah, it was a cancer festival that it was my old band. We were just like a 90s cover band. I mean, I love those guys. I will always remember the times with them. Fantastic guys to play with. Unfortunately, we broke up. So
What band was it? If you don't mind saying, if it's bad vibes.
oh my god, no, fantastic vibes. What were we called? We will. Oh god, we had a really shitty name. What's that 90s? Hootie School.
Nice.
From Hootie and the Blowfish.
Yeah,
So
right.
We
Well,
just
what-
called it Hootie School.
What other Hootie is there?
We just played one Hootie and Blowfish song. That was it.
Just one. Which one was it?
The most popular one, whichever that one was. I don't know the names. I haven't listened to Hootie and Blowfish in a while.
I was gonna say, I don't know.
Did you
which-
play it that day? I can't remember.
Yes, we did.
That's awesome.
Cool. Okay, so Tristan, you're from Mass. Dan, where are you from?
I'm from Michigan,
Cool.
Detroit area. Yeah,
What brought you here?
work.
Makes sense.
Work brought me here, but the Vallory Falls and the mountains around us is keeping me here. So,
Nice. How long have you been in Vermont?
2020, May 2020, I moved
Oh
here.
wow, you're a fresh transplant.
Pretty fresh. Yeah.
What do you think so far? Are we creeping you out yet?
Oh yeah. 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 I mean, everyone's super nice, but people are a little bit they love maple, which Michigan's got our things too. So I can't hate on you guys too much, but it's definitely has its own charm for sure. So.
Dan, one of us, you've been here longer than me. You're basically
Oh really?
Yeah.
When did you move here?
September or July 21.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you're like more.
I'm actually I've been in Vermont the second longest out of, I think, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because I moved up in April of last year.
All right.
Nice. Where are you
Segue.
from, Joey?
I'm from Pennsylvania. I lived in Philly for college and then 5 years after that. So been moving from the big city up here.
I've heard people compare Philly and Burlington and say it has similar vibes. Would you agree with that, or do you totally disagree?
I totally disagree with that. I could talk to people in Vermont, whereas I feel like you just don't talk to people in Philly.
Interesting. Do you think? See, Boston won an award for being the most asshole-filled city. Do you think Philly is is close on the asshole meter?
Philly's close, but I think that was half of the draw of it. It's just you have a kind of dirty city that if anyone from outside of Philly says anything bad about, you will fight them tooth and nail and just be like, Philly's the best and we love it and all the trash is great and this is how a city should be. But, at the end of the day, it's Philly. It's fun. I liked it there. Just needed a change of pace.
So, I should have asked Dan first. I'm going to ask you first, though. How long have you been playing guitar?
Whew. I think I got my first guitar in probably 6th grade. So if I can do some math from there, 15-ish years.
Nice. Nice. Cool. So, have you been in other bands before this, I'm guessing?
Yeah, I've played in a few smaller bands in Philly. I've played just, in people's basements with friends and stuff like that. But nothing too serious for other bands.
You guys seem fairly serious, I will say. You're very clean edits. Everything's all nice and tight, which I really like talking to bands where things sound good together. I have a hard time talking to people who don't have it together and promoting them. I'm very comfortable promoting you guys. You guys are like a dream for somebody
Thanks.
who's trying to book shows because you actually probably show up with your shit together. Which
Certainly try.
Right, there's a lot of it's interesting talking to people who do booking because they're like, oh god, you book these people and they don't show up, or they show half the band shows up, or whatever happens. So applaud your seriousness about all of this.
Yeah, well, I guess that's part of the fun, right? Is booking. We actually booked a couple of our own shows recently. Actually, at Charlie O's in
cool.
Montpelier. We booked those ones ourselves. Just reached out to the venue directly, and that was personally my first time ever booking for anything. So I got a little bit of a taste of how much I don't want to do it.
Yeah, well, it's all a lot of self promotion, I'm sure.
Yeah, and it's already like pretty uncomfortable, like putting yourself out there if you're like an introvert.
Right. Right. Okay. All right. I'm swinging back around to my other question. Danny,
Yeah.
how long have you been playing bass?
Bass, I've been playing bass. I switched, I think 15 years old. I started playing bass. Been playing guitar since I was 12. I think I was trying to think as well. Started playing piano when I was 8. So that was like my first instrument, and switched over to guitar when I was 12, and then played like in orchestra a lot. So I played cello for a few years, and then got to high school and
cello. That's awesome.
yeah. And then I switched over to string bass, which kind of worked where like I like the idea of like also playing electric bass. And then my friend played guitar and his little brother played drums, and they needed a bass player. And so it kind of all came together where I switched over to electric, started playing string bass, and didn't really look back. I still play guitar like on my own, and, like can play it. But in terms of like bands, I haven't played in a band other than bass since I was in high school. Prior to that, I was in some bands, like in middle school. We were in a band, like a classic rock cover band. And, but then moved into I've been in classic rock cover band, then was in a hardcore punk band in high school, and played briefly in like some metal thing, and then some other and then prior to Vallory Falls I hadn't been in anything for a few years, which was why I wanted to join another band, because I was missing it so much. But I was in a semi-serious band for like 4 or 5 years, kind of in this alternative rock kind of category, I would say, back in Detroit. But yeah,
I've got to ask about Detroit. What?
It's the best place ever.
Is it really, or is it?
People from Michigan, and everyone I've met from Vermont, like just comments on how much I like, not just me, but like for some reason, people from Michigan like to talk about how great Michigan is. And I don't know, I feel like I have to defend it, because it's like, I don't know, it's like you hear Michigan and it's like this state in the Midwest, and like kind of this enigma. No one ever you don't travel through it. You have to go there. Like people just fly there as a pit stop when they're flying somewhere else. Like that's really only a lot of people's experience with Detroit. But yeah, I was born and raised there. I lived my whole life there up until 3 years ago. And so, we're surrounded by, we touch 4 of the Great Lakes. We're, Motown, home of, Motown, and, have a lot of good stuff there. So good music scene as well.
Yeah,
so.
I was going to ask if the music scene was cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Tons of bands come through there, and a lot of different local stuff too. So
nice.
It was fun.
Yeah, you guys actually can have a real concert. We don't have a hall that can hold 50,000 people, which would be sweet if we did. You have to travel for that from here, though, for sure. Tristan, same question. How long have you been playing music?
I've been playing since I was probably 13. Yeah, I started with guitar, electric guitar, and I was playing for like maybe like a couple years, and then I switched over to like acoustic guitar for a bit, and I played acoustic guitar until I got my first band, which was in I think 2015 was like my first like real band. I had like one other band that was not legit. I played electric guitar in that band. That was like 2013-ish. And we were called Falling Uphill. So I guess Vallory Falls is like the, it's kind of finally come full circle. Now I'm falling down again, but it's in a different band. But yeah, no, I played, acoustic guitar. And then, I think from 2016 on, I played bass as well a little bit. And, I got into like home recording. And so I kind of do a little bit of, all 3, acoustic, electric, and bass. But, obviously, like, when I play in bands, I just usually stick with, the one thing I'm comfortable with, which is electric guitar.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. Riley, where are you from?
I'm from Newbury, Vermont, so I'm the only Vermonter here.
Ooh, local Vermonter.
I was born, though, in North Dakota, but I moved when I was 6 months. So half my family is Midwest, other half is Vermonter. So
Yep.
kind of 50-50 split on my end. So
Well, if you moved here when you were 6 months old, I think you.
it depends.
qualify.
There's some people here. There's some people who like, still say I'm not a true Vermonter because I'm not born in Vermont. Which I'm like, what? Like,
Right? How long does it take?
Exactly.
Is there
I'm
no
sorry, I
If you
wasn't-
sprout from the ground next to a maple tree, then you're not a true Vermonter.
exactly. Wood shuts and all.
Oh man. Cool. Well, how long have you been in the Burlington area, Riley?
I've kind of lived all around Vermont, kind of northern Vermont and western Vermont, because I lived in Linden when I went to college at Linden.
Yep.
So I lived there, and then I moved to Johnson with my ex. Kind of stayed with her illegally in an apartment, as you
Like
do.
one
Lawbreaker.
does when you are
It's just
young.
college, right after college, and then we moved to Jericho.
Delinquent.
And then the
Most
Fairfax when
delinquent
that
band
didn't
member,
work
yeah.
out. And then after like living in Fairfax for like 3 or 4 years, I decided I finally wanted to live in a city, quote unquote, because
The big city.
the big city of Winooski, which I mean,
Huge.
I love Winooski so much, so
Nice.
it's beautiful. It's nice. So I've been there for like almost 2 years now. So
Cool. I moved here in 2018 from St. Albans, and I've bounced all over the state, but I have not gone anywhere else. I'm one of those Vermont people who never ever left
Same.
and never did anything else.
Same.
Just stayed here. So, how long have you been playing? And you've played several different instruments.
I'm definitely a multi-instrumentalist. I started playing saxophone, and saxophone was actually my main instrument for the longest time. I
Nice.
started when I was 11 or 12. So like when I was in 7th grade, I was kind of forced into it just because I didn't want to do sports, so music was the only option. So I picked that up, learned alto, picked that up pretty fast, and just played that out throughout high school along with baritone. I picked up drums when I was in 9th grade. Just my music teacher taught me because I was interested. Then I learned bass when I was in 10th grade because I wanted to pick that up. And then I learned guitar 10th, 11th grade. And then college kind of just enforced all that as I started projects where a guitarist was needed, a drummer was needed, a bassist.
Right.
Well, a saxophonist was needed, so I kind of played all that throughout college. Focused more on bass because just more bands were looking for bassists. I played with one band during a summer, during an internship, called David Rosaine and the Zookeepers. They were a Paris band from Paris, France.
Cool.
Who came, did a huge library tour. Very fun, but I've been in multiple different projects, from classic rock to a Pink Floyd cover band to a Led Zeppelin cover band, all to even a Lynyrd Skynyrd cover band. Then I was in an acoustic folk punk band as a drummer.
So it sounds like you might be winning in how many bands you've been in. Maybe if you have.
There was a time when I was in 7 bands, so
At the same time?
in college,
Oh, gee. Wow.
and that was on me. And
That sounds exhausting.
It was, but college was fueled by shitty pizza and energy drinks. So
Sounds like Lindenville.
yes,
My sister went to Linden, and shitty pizza sounds like when I went there and got pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Linden Pizzaville. Pizzaville. place.
Linden now just got rid of all their gigs. So I was there when every gig was closing down. So I played like the last at Fat Cats, which was a fantastic bar. They had like 25-cent PBR nights.
Yes.
So-
What?
Yeah, fucking
Oh my
amazing.
God.
I was underage throughout the entirety of college, so I couldn't drink, and I didn't drink. I was a good kid, so
At the bars or in general.
in general, I was a good kid.
Well, good
So-
for you. That's impressive because 25-cent PBR sounds
I know.
easy to get.
They also
PBR.
had 50-cent wings too. So
Nice. It's very random. But at VTC, the McDonald's used to do 25-cent burger days. And people would just fling cheeseburgers all over the campus. And you'd find them like hidden in really weird places. Somebody stuck some in one of the ceiling panels. Like they were just,
that's beautiful.
It was ever, yeah,
Modern art.
That's art.
right. It was like some sort of Christmas decoration of
You can
cheeseburgers.
leave those out for like a year and they won't go bad.
I think that's what they were going for. Like if I stick this in the ceiling and come back next year,
Each of them like a small time capsule of what once was.
and still would be.
It's very poetic. Could write a song about that.
So
Decaying or non-decaying cheeseburgers.
non-decaying. So you should tell me a little bit about your songs, because Rosie is amazing. I've listened to Rosie a whole bunch of times. Because have you had an official album yet?
We have not. We're actually working on an album right now.
Does it have a name? Can I ask it? Is it a secret?
It does not have a name, but it is right now. It's a collection of songs that we've been working really hard on. We're hoping to get it out in the next couple months. We're thinking fall, like October.
Cool. Very cool. So where have you played so far, and which one do you guys consider the best show? I want show stories. Those are always fun.
Yeah. So, well, our first couple shows were at Charlie O's. I mean, how many shows have we had total, Dan?
Played Charlie O's, well, as a band total or me total? Because me minus
Do we
one.
want to count band, or do we want to count with also, because there's a lot of factors, because
Right.
with
I mean,
Joey.
Well, because
or
Joey,
with Dan.
Joey's like
Yeah.
pretty new.
Also,
Joey-
there was a show
Joey
Dan
joined-
missed.
yeah.
Does
How
that
about-
count as a show?
Every show that Vallory Falls has played since you guys
Moved to
started in
Vermont.
Vermont.
So and that's since I've been in the band. Nothing before me.
So that's
No.
So the first show we played at my coworker's house.
yeah, last October.
It was a Halloween party.
Yeah.
Those can be the best
It was
shows.
a
That's
house
the best
party.
venue.
Yeah.
Because that was like a mansion. That was on the water.
Yeah.
And we played
you can't go there.
We
'cause
played
it'd be
that open
someone's
mic.
house,
The open mic for like 2 or 3 songs.
It was.
Was that that was after, right?
That was right
Orlando's?
after.
Yeah.
That was like 3 days after, I think.
That was
That
the
shit was
venue
crazy.
the venue was fine, was good actually. It was an open mic, so we could only play.
we were
and
the
then
loudest
Tristan's pedal, you had something going on with your pedal board for
yeah,
like 10 minutes,
It was
quite literally.
So dumb. It's like because you think you like prepared for everything, and like it was the dumbest thing because like I was just fiddling with like I was literally just setting it up. I wasn't even like fiddling with it, and it just like wouldn't turn on. And I was like, what the fuck? So I like kind of like stopped and I was like fiddling with it a little bit more. And after like 5 minutes, because the idea was it's supposed to be like a super fast like set. So the set was supposed to be done in like what, 15 minutes?
We had 3 songs that we could play.
Yeah.
And so I think we had maybe that was 15 minutes, but we actually ended up only playing 2 songs. I think we played Sharpie Hearts
Yeah,
and
and
Ghost
it's
of
all because
Autumn.
of fucking me. Because like I was just like
I wasn't going to say,
I'm like on the ground. Like
all
so
because of
everything
you.
else was like lightning speed. Like Riley set up the kit, lightning speed. Dan set up like bass guitar, lightning speed,
as per usual.
per usual.
I'm always the first one ready to go because
And then I go to like set up my like guitar and everything, and like this is like it's sort of like NASCAR, you know, like NASCAR has like the pit stop, and you see like everyone like comes out, there's like woof, they come out, they like change the wheels, they like fill all of them with air, and
Yeah.
then within like 15 seconds or whatever the fuck, like it's
Yeah.
back on the road.
a great
So that was me with my guitar until I like hit a roadblock, and the roadblock happened to be like, I wouldn't say like it would be the engine to the car, but it would basically be like the transmission. Like
Right,
without
car
it,
no go.
without it sounds just like, well, yeah, I guess it's like totally different. It doesn't really like move the same, I guess. Yeah, no, so it sucked. But like, so that ate up like a good like 8 or 10 minutes of the set, and then we
that's
played
too
one
bad.
song, and that was it.
Did we only play one? Or
No, we played 2.
We played
we
2.
did?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we played
okay.
2.
Yeah,
we played Sharpie and Ghost of Autumn.
Damn.
And then but we
I'm
were
shocked
supposed
they
to play
even let
something
us like after that. That was so embarrassing. I was so embarrassed.
else. Yeah, I was embarrassed for you.
Yeah, I think everyone was. Everyone was like staring at me.
To answer the original question, we've played 8 gigs since being in Vermont. So.
Ever since I started
been
talking,
adding
Riley's
up.
just been counting them.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that was. Wait,
Oh, man.
So it's
coworker.
we played Dan's coworkers, then we played Charlie O's twice, then we played the bar, which I keep forgetting the name of. For the
Orlando.
open mic. Orlando's, thank you. Then we played Radio Bean.
Yeah.
We played Community of Sound. We played The Cellar, and then we just played Monopole this past weekend.
We just played the Cellar too. So
Jesus, we did like more shows than I thought we did.
Only 8, yeah.
Nice. Very cool. That's a lot of shows for being like, no, we just getting started.
Yeah, well,
8
I mean,
shows.
because there was like a large gap in between the first and second show. Because that first show was like sort of like, we really just wanted to like get out and just like play. We like were sort of ready. We had some like stuff going on like in the band as well, and that we were like unsure if we like wanted to play, and we ended up doing it, and I think it ended up being like a really great show, but then we didn't like play again until like February.
Was that the next Charlie?
I think it was. I think it was like February.
Yeah,
so it was like
it was like a few
4-month
months.
break.
It was just kind of a lull. I don't know.
Yeah, and a lot of that was just recording Rosie.
Part of that,
Part of it was
too
recording
was some of we were just going in through
Just
some transition.
internal stuff with
Yeah.
Joey just coming onto our band, so kind of had the time of him learning all the songs and everything, wanting to, and also, I mean, we threw a bunch of songs at you like, hey, do this, and then Dan got sick. I'm like, oh, by the way, how about you learn another fucking instrument too?
Oh yeah, that was your first show, right?
Yeah.
Because we were supposed to play the second time Charlie O. So the first time Joey wasn't part of the band. The second time, like a month later, he was part of the band. And so like we had just been practicing. He had to learn like all these songs for like the whole thing. And then I got COVID like 3 days before the show, and they decided to play with like. I think Tristan and Joey both played bass at some point, and
we divvied
Oh
up.
my god, was that actually the first? Oh my god, was
Yeah.
That was his first show.
Yeah, that was a fun night. That was so fun.
Would you describe that as fun? Or
No,
Joey?
It was pretty fun, to be honest.
Okay.
I was like half joking. It was fun, but like it was like maybe one of the most stressful shows I've ever played.
It was I mean, there was a lot of things that went wrong at that show, like the bass amp not working.
Oh my god! Like when
I think if the bass amp actually didn't stop working, like if it actually worked the thing, I think it would have been fine.
the amount of times I invoked Murphy's Law throughout that whole fucking show, I was like looking at like Joey. I'm like, Murphy's Law. I'm like looking at. Oh, you weren't there. Looking at Riley.
You're
Murphy's
looking
Law.
at the absence of Dan going.
I'm looking at the
Murphy's
space
Law.
where Dan would be. So Murphy's Law.
Needless to say, after that show, I think I got a private text from Riley and Tristan about how that went and how
I would
they
just
missed
like,
me,
Dan,
and how
please,
like
please.
we should.
We're like standing there. We're standing there, and they're like the bass cab, which was like lent to us. That was the same show, right? That was.
I don't remember it. So
Oh right, yeah,
certainly-
you were.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
so
was
yeah,
the
no,
head.
so-
Ice on
well,
the
I'm-
bass cab.
Yeah, they're like putting ice on. We're like standing there. We're like, we don't know what to do. We're like, I don't know. And they're just like
bags of ice on the base.
Like nobody like came over initially. Then like finally like they come over. They're like looking around. I'm like,
What?
hey man, hey, is this like your like basing? And he's like, oh yeah, man. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, oh well, it's like done this before, but I didn't think it would happen tonight. And I was like,
So it was overheating?
Yeah, so
so you put okay.
the fan was broken
Okay.
inside of it.
yeah.
That sounds partially kind of dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, so to their credit, that band is great. They're Assorted Fruit. They're an awesome band.
Shout out to Assorted Fruit.
Shout out to
I
Assorted
love those
Fruit.
guys.
They're awesome. It was just a bad night. I think it's just a very like sort of like a black cat night. Like something's out to get you, and it's going to prevent you from having glory. I don't know.
That's an amazing solution to something overheating, though. Let's put ice on it.
No, yeah. And so like ever since
They had no other option. They were backlining those.
Well, it was a combination of putting ice on it, and they also had two people taking turns blowing on it.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, because there were like no fans.
Yeah.
So like Charlie O's they're a wonderful bar. We love them. I feel like the energy at those shows, because you asked like what was like our best show. The energy at Charlie O's was comparable to the energy of the show that we just had in New York.
Nice.
They were both fantastic. Just like the kinds of people that were there, like the crowd, like just like super cool and like inviting. But oh my god, like the electricity in that place is like so
it's kind of
it's a little
faulty.
sketchy.
like
yeah.
I can't believe it survived as long as a building and not like burned down. Like we like turn on like our amps or something, and like the whole back of the
All the lights shut
the
off.
bar like shut off.
We're not
Yeah.
trying to put that energy out there though. Like we
No. We
They're-
love them. They're awesome. They're fantastic.
Oh no, that first Charlie O show was awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say
That was a good. I mean, I will say that my favorite show so far has been, funny enough, Communio Sound. That has been
That
my
was a
favorite
great
show.
show, yeah.
Because I think that's when we sounded the absolutely best. Also, it was kind of designed for musicians too. So it was also like sound padded and all that. So like
Yeah,
to
well,
me,
it's a recording studio. Yeah.
exactly. To me, I felt like that was like we just sounded the best.
Yeah,
in
that show was amazing.
I think everyone was great in that one.
And
So-
you know, like we had some like notions going to it. We didn't necessarily like know like how many people were going to be there. I think honestly there ended up being like 20 or 25 people there.
Yeah.
And it like ended up being like a pretty decent show. Like I feel like the sound definitely was just amazing. But also the people putting it on. Lauren Sky, shout out. She's awesome. She put the show together. Great show.
Very cool. Yeah, you guys have been busy and getting busier if you're trying to get an album done.
Yeah.
Who is the songwriter? Do you guys share the responsibility, or are you all kind of pitching in?
I write the songs. Yeah.
That's Tristan talking.
Yeah,
by the
yeah.
way.
Sorry, I'm Tristan. I read the songs. Sharpie Heart. We have 4 songs up now with Ghost of Autumn that just got released last month. But so the 3 songs that were there before, 2 of them I wrote with that lineup in Massachusetts. One of them was the music was co-written, but the lyrics were all by myself. And then Rosie, written by myself. Ghost of Autumn, written by myself. But the music obviously comes from everybody. So
Cool. Well, sometimes the person writing the songs like composes the whole thing and it says here's your part. So you never know. You guys could be composing things.
yeah, I mean, like definitely like Ghost of Autumn is one of those songs because it's like an older like I think I wrote that like back in like 2020 or something like that. And a song like Rosie, which is more recent, had more input from everybody else as far as like the actual composition. I mean, like the chord structure, maybe not so much. Like I was very invested in just making it sound fucking weird and cool.
That's a very cool song. I actually really like it. Almost reminds me of like a row, something about how the melody kind of like built on itself in a way.
Thank you.
I really enjoy that song a lot.
Thanks.
Like I said, I've
Yeah.
got it on my likes playlist, so every time I start that up, that's one of the ones
no,
I'm
I
hearing.
really appreciate that. Yeah, no, the idea was it was supposed to be sort of like a 50s sort of like
Yep, I can definitely pick that.
yeah,
vibe up
definitely.
from
Yeah, like
it.
a 50s sort of like rom-com gone bad or something like that meets like kind of like punk sort of.
Yeah,
in the
it's not.
choruses.
It's not like some old school sort of soft rock thing from the 50s, but it has like this love ballad kind of like flow to
Yeah,
it, but
like
also
like
it's
a
kind of
swingy
crunchy
sort of-
somehow.
Crunchy in the choruses, yeah. Yeah, or yeah, even like the pre-choruses, there's just some like weird shit going on. Yeah.
Cool. So, what's everyone's favorite song that you guys play?
I mean, me personally, I love. We have a song called "Clown." It might be released under a different name, but right now it's called "Clown," and it's just delightful. It's just like such a fun song to play, and Joey came up with this awesome lead on it that just sounds just fucking sick. And if I had to pick a second, it would be Rosie. I like Rosie a lot.
Nice. Cool.
I don't know about everyone else.
Yeah, I like Clown a lot too. I'd agree. That song's super fun to play. I think it always sounds good live, and I get a little bit of a bass. I don't know if you call it a solo, but I have a big part in the bridge, I think. But yeah, just the way that song just kind of comes together and just is kind of in your face, but also just the rhythm is just super weird and just kind of interesting to me. And then I like Want Me Dead too. I think that's a solid song. I think that actually might be the next one. That's
release. Actually, our
Yeah.
next single is Want Me Dead.
That should be releasing mid-July.
Nice.
Mid-July.
Cool. Very cool. How about you, Joey?
I think Clown's probably my favorite song as well, but I'd have to give September a close second. It's a lot more like straightforward of a song, but it's just kind of loud and fast and fun to play.
Yeah. I mean, I know everyone else said
Say the line, Riley.
Thanks, Riley.
Nice guy.
clown at like the beginning, just those really cut deep. Like when we record it, it's gonna be really nice to like get razor thin on the rhythm and everything. It's such a great song to start out with. I will say two of the most fun parts I have playing drums are actually we have a song called Hell or Where the Youth and Laughter Go To. Oh, that and just the middle part, which I call like the solo part. That's just such a fun groove to like jam to. And then also on September too. I was gonna say September, like that middle part where like those that like bass solo type thing. It reminds me a lot of something that Travis from Blink-182 would kind of do. Like I try and incorporate that sort of rhythm and everything inside of it. So it gets me to be able to explore around the drum kit with like a halftime beat that he does, since he's a little bit of like I try and incorporate a lot of what he does in the drumming and everything that I do, but
I can feel that. Now that you say that, there's definitely some like old school pop punk. It's funny because Blink's still playing. They're very popular right now. Everyone's very into Blink-182. So modern pop punk. Yeah, awesome guys. So what's your next show again? Plug that, please.
I was going to ask you that earlier today.
our next show is going to actually be a recorded show at Robot Dog Studios.
Oh, cool.
So
Nice.
we're doing like a 5-song set list or something there. It's going to be recorded. Tim, he got us that gig and everything.
Tim Lewis.
Yeah, Tim Lewis.
Shout out Tim.
Then after that, we do have another show at the end of July. There's going to be, I think, a small little punk festival happening in Montpelier.
Cool.
On the 29th, happening at a church. I know there's I think 5 or 6 other punk bands going to be showing up. Punk metal show. That gig is still trying to form and everything. So not much information on that yet.
What's the name of the church? Do you remember?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I know it.
You told it to me.
Yeah, but I don't know now.
Okay.
Just Google churches
Church in
Montpelier.
Montpelier.
It's
Probably
just
pick
1
one.
to 3 out
It's not a
of
congregational church.
Yeah,
It's,
you're either going to go to your like mass or whatever.
Probably
or
not
you're gonna
Catholic.
Go to a punk show.
Yeah, I suppose.
Nice. Very cool. Okay. All right. So plug your social medias. Where is the best place to find you online?
Yeah, I guess best places to find us. We're on Instagram under just Vallory Falls VT, I believe, and then the same handle for Facebook or just Vallory Falls.
Can
It
you-
is
can you
a weird spelling, yeah.
Yeah. Can you spell it, please?
So it's V as in Victor, ALLORY, and then F as in Frank, ALLS as in Sam.
Right. It's not like the name Vallory. It's like a place called Vallory Falls.
Very, very different.
Right. Right. It's very unique. It does. It reminds me of like,
Unique.
oh, we're going to the falls. I don't know. So for some reason, it could have been Vallory Falls, and it would have been a lot more morbid.
I mean, you can take it either way.
I kind of when I made the name, I kind of was thinking about it both ways, but definitely I get what you're saying. I kind of wanted it to be sort of open ended as well, but I was thinking kind of those two different scenarios, it being either a place where everything is perfect but imperfect at the same time or something like that, and then also it could be a person, a girl, Vallory, falling. Why is she falling? No one knows.
Our,
she trip?
our logo and
Did she
everything
trip?
is more campy vibes.
She okay?
Yeah.
So
Has anyone talked to Vallory recently?
we tend to be
Oh,
more
she
campier.
falls.
So it's there's a really good photo of Vallory Falls on our trail sign.
Yes.
So Valley
Okay.
Falls, I feel, has now kind of gone more towards the whole an actual place kind of side, and that whole campy vibe and everything to it.
Yeah, you've got a really good logo.
A nice outdoorsy.
Is it? I'm trying to remember exactly what this looks like. I wish I had a picture of
It's
your
like
logo.
a fire. It's a fire.
Right, it's like a fire pit, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's sort of like
It's a campfire.
Campfire.
Right.
It's the signage for campfire full.
It's a very Vermonty vibe. It's funny because most of you are not native Vermonters, but you very much have a Vermonty
Well,
vibe.
so I think the thing that unites us all is I feel like we're all very outdoorsy type people. All of us, Joey loves rock climbing, Dan loves mountain biking, Riley, I think you're somewhat into camping, I guess.
I fucking love camping.
Yeah, into camping.
I
just
camp,
wanted to
hike,
make
and
sure.
bike all the time.
And yeah, I love camping, love being outside hiking and stuff. So the font actually, funny enough, is actually the national parks typeface.
Okay.
They
That makes sense.
give it away for free on this like website. And I was like, you know what? It's familiar. Everybody has seen it before, and it like kind of speaks to like what the band is kind of like. The people who are in the band are kind of
Right.
like all about. So it like makes sense.
Yeah, it's funky when you see the music that is very rocky, but with the outdoor vibe, it's like some new juxtaposition. Not country. It's not country, but it's that new juxtaposition of like, yeah, right. It's got like a folk vibe when you look at the logo, but it's not folky. It's like,
It's
Just-
to lure
it's
you,
very
bait and
real,
switch,
you know?
classic bait and switch, to lure you in. All those, folk punk kids think they're gonna get like, the next like AJJ or something like that, and then they listen to Wes, and they're just like, well, this sounds good too.
right. It's kind of a juxtaposition because that's
Which we do have a few songs that go a little folky or punk. Not
definitely
released
part of
yet,
it,
so but definitely some that are like the folky kind of
Cool shit.
folk,
We're
folk
working
punk.
on. Yeah.
nice.
Working on.
Okay, last question, and we're gonna wrap it up. The recording process. Are you recording all of this yourself, Tristan?
Yeah. So actually, I have a studio. It's a basement studio called Sky Audio that I've been working on for the better part of a year, and it's rapidly coming together. But in the meantime, we've been recording these other songs. Like Rosie was recorded down there. Ghost of Autumn was recorded down there. Want Me Dead was recorded down there. The next single coming out. And pretty soon we're going to record the rest of the album down there. That's kind of why we have this gap in shows between now and the July 29th show, is we're actually going to be working on recording and getting some of these tracks put together.
Very cool. Are you guys practicing down there too?
We were. Not anymore. Since about a month and a half ago, we've invaded Joey's house, and we won't leave.
Nice.
We stay in the garage. We just sleep there.
It's very cool.
I bet it's kind of annoying, but we don't have anywhere else to go.
That sounds bad, but it's actually worse. It's right behind my office. So just all day I have, work calls and stuff, and I get to look 2 feet to my left, and there's a whole drum kit, a whole bass rig, and it makes it hard to focus sometimes.
Right.
Yeah, it's not behind it is your office. We
Yeah.
practice in your office.
Are you right in town? Is it okay to be loud?
I'm like outside of the main town, so it's good enough. We've had
Your neighbor loves us.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
we had one neighbor come over.
Well, I want to say love. He just
Yeah.
he tolerates us.
He
Oh,
came
he said
over.
we could play anytime.
Yeah, he came over, knocked on the window, and was like, "You guys playing music in here? Can I come in?"
Literally, like my whole face dropped. Like I went.
You
like,
guys play
pale.
music.
I'm
It's like,
I'm
meanwhile, my
oh
ears
God.
are ringing. He's like,
I'm like,
yes,
oh my
what do you-
God. He's like coming inside. I'm like, he's gonna like beat us up or something. He has like a dog. I'm like, oh man. And then he
Whoa.
like came in. He's like, let's hear it. And he was like talking like maybe he had like a show or something he wanted us to like maybe get on. It was like this
Nice.
like bar that I guess he plays at, and then we
Cool.
played for him, and then he was like, "Oh, yeah, no, that's different than what I thought it was. So maybe not."
Oh, great. Thanks, dude.
I think we're a little bit louder than he thought from behind
Right.
in his yard.
Right.
From the bushes.
Where he popped out.
All right. Thank you all so much for coming on the show. Tristan, Danny, Joey, Riley.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for having
Yeah,
us.
thank you so
Yeah,
much.
check out Vallory Falls online. Go check out the show. We still don't know where it is. It's in Montpelier, and it's July 29th.
It's a mystery. Just look up churches.
Right.
Look
Better follow
up-
them on social media.
Yeah.
That's all.
We'll have updates on social
we'll
media.
We'll post it sometime. I would guess beginning of July.
Vallery Falls. We're on Facebook,
Spotify, YouTube,
Spotify, YouTube,
Apple Music.
everywhere.
All the places.
Apple Music, Pandora.
Napster.
I think we are.
No.
on Napster.
We are a Napster. Yeah.
Nice. Nice. All right.
Don't pirate our songs.
Thank you all again. Happy summer, everybody.
Yay.
Thanks so much for listening to the end of the show. Subscribe to Vermont Talks on your favorite podcasting platform. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all over the web. Contact Becca at vermonttalks.com if you'd like to be interviewed or if you know someone who should be. Thanks so much to Jason Baker for creating the show music. The views and opinions expressed by the guests are those of the individuals and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Vermont Talks. Any content or statements provided by our guests are of their opinion and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, anyone, or anything. And that's what was new in the 802. Have a great day.